Well, hey there, everyone. We're going to be starting a new series as a church this week. So tomorrow, actually, because it's Saturday when I'm recording this, we're going to be working through the Gospel of John together. And so what I thought I'd do here real quick today is just give an intro to John, talk about some of the kind of important background information so that Sunday, tomorrow, we can hit the ground running because we have a lot of ground to cover in this series. So the Gospel of John, written by John the disciple, one of the first followers of Jesus, one of the 12 disciples. And he's actually part of this inner circle, the inner three, who are the people who are closest to Jesus. And so he has a front row seat. He's an eyewitness to the life of Jesus. And of the four gospel accounts we have, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, John is the last one to be written. Depending on how you date things, different scholars have different ideas, but John writes his gospel somewhere between 60 and 90 AD. And so that means at this point, John is writing, he's an old man, and the other gospel accounts are actually circulating, and he'd be familiar with them. So he assumes in his writing that his audience is going to be familiar with Matthew, Mark, and Luke as well. Just an example, in John 3:24, he makes this parenthetical note that this was before John the Baptist was put into prison. But John doesn't actually record the imprisonment of John the Baptist in his gospel. That's found in the other gospels. So he's assuming that his audience is going to be familiar with what are in the other gospels. So John doesn't cover a lot of the same material that they do. At least he doesn't cover it in the same way. He doesn't see things the same way the Synoptic Gospels do. That's Matthew, Mark, and Luke. We call those the Synoptic Gospels because of how similar they are to one another. So Mark is only 7% unique, meaning that only 7% of what is found in the Gospel of Mark is only in Mark, that 93% of the things he covers can be found in the other Gospels. Matthew is 42% unique. Luke is only 59% unique. But John's Gospel is 92% unique, only found in John's Gospel. So he has a very, very different perspective in the way that he talks about Jesus. He has a very different purpose in writing. He's not just concerned about telling us what happens. He wants to tell us what it means. John wants to write in a way that gives us the why behind things. He gives us he writes in a big picture, existential, kind of cosmic focus that is focused primarily on the identity of Jesus. And so as we explore John's gospel, we'll see that there are no parables, there are no exorcisms, and the things that Jesus teaches are focused much more so on his own identity and his relationship with God the Father. John wants his readers, he wants you and I to see and understand that Jesus is the eternal Son who's come to reveal the Father, and that salvation comes by knowing him. It's towards the end of his gospel that he actually writes, he tells us his purpose and why he wrote. In chapter 20, he says that Jesus did many other things that are not recorded in his gospel, some things that could actually be found in the other gospels. So he says there's a whole lot of other things that aren't recorded here, but what I have recorded, these are recorded so that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing, you may have life in his name. So that's the purpose of John. There's a quick intro to the Gospel of John. I can't wait to jump into the series with all of you, and we will see you soon. Take care, everybody.